What's up, guys? It's Steve the Graphics Guy. Today I'm giving you an inside look of the transit van. This is what I take to every single install, and a lot of people have been asking what's inside all of those bins. What do you carry as a sign and graphics installer? Today I'm going to show you. Alright, so why don't we start at the front of the van and I'll show you what I got going on. It's a little tight around these parts, so I'm going to try to show you as best as I can. Up front here, I've got straight edge, 2-foot level, 4-foot level. I've got a painting pole back there, and what I did was I 3D printed these holders. So it sits in the bottom one, slides up the top, that opens up, and then you can slide that out of there. So that's what I did for those items. I'm gonna add probably a couple more things here. I think a fire extinguisher. We'll see what else I could fit down there. Next up is my Werner ladder. This is, I think, the 5-foot one stowed. And right now, it's just held in with this bungee up top here, but the plan is to find a really short bungee and be able to clip it in there. But it fits in there pretty well. The next set of shelves has my vinyl bag. This I carry to every single job, and let's open it up. All right, this is my Milwaukee Packout tech bag, and this is a staple, always goes in with me to every single job, pretty much no matter what. And we'll just go over some of the contents here. I've got some gloves, band-aids, business cards, extra batteries for my laser level. I've got my tool pouch, which is probably the most important thing. Got my tape measure, squeegees, knives, masking tape, snitty, blade box, Sharpies, backing cutter. I've got a bag full of microfiber towels, isopropyl alcohol, torpedo level, combination screwdriver, markers for touching anything up, wallpaper, stuff like that, torch, magnets, extra squeegees. I have a glass squeegee. Got some trash bags over here on the end, and then up front here I have glass squeegee, glass scraper, extra blades, all my Torx wrenches and Allen wrenches, wallpaper squeegee, Sharpies, pens, mini straight edge, mini screwdriver, and a wire saw for getting ADA signs off walls or dimensional letters or stuff like that. Over on this end, I have a bunch of consumables. Banana buffers, monkey strips, extra blades, and my double edge cutter or seam buster for double cutting wallpaper. And then this other one, I have a bunch of extra stuff too. Small detail squeegees, crayons, tweezers, extra feet for the backing cutter, some small Allen wrenches, plastic razor blade, you know, pencil sharpeners, all that stuff. Moving on, I've got this Milwaukee backpack, and this I bring into some smaller jobs. If it's just a small vinyl or just hanging a couple picture frames or something, I'll usually combine some elements, put them into this bag, so I'm not carrying a bunch of stuff. So in here, I have a 12-volt DeWalt set. extra bits, catcher for my dust when I'm drilling these holes. Another torpedo level. I'm armed with a bunch of tubes of silicone. And then same thing up here. Batteries, business cards, pens, that sort of thing. I've got a little microfiber to wipe stuff down. Up in this front pouch, I've got some different screws and anchors, and then these little nail picture hanging hooks. And then the drill bits for these two drivers. That's bare bones. Usually add a couple other things in there if needed. This second shelf here is usually where my pump sprayer is. I brought the van to get service this weekend, and I left the pump sprayer at home in the basement so it didn't freeze in the van outside. That's too much information. But the pump sprayer usually sits here. It's just out at the moment. With that pump sprayer, it's actually in one of these red bins, and I have 4 different chamois. I have my soap in there, so I can just grab and go, and I'm ready to do a glass job. Up here, I've got my hand masker from 3M. This I use when I'm doing wallpaper jobs, if I have to mask off a countertop or really anything. So that sits up there. And then right now, this is kind of just miscellaneous, but I've got an extension cord. I've got some shrink wrap film if I have to wrap anything up. I've got rapid remover, and I've got alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol, to be specific. So this kind of just sits here. Up top, I've got my 3M adhesion test kit. If you haven't seen one of these, this is a kit where you can test the adhesion of different films on whatever specific substrate you're going to be adhering to. If it's a block wall, if it's a floor, if it's drywall, all these different films are in here. The kit explains how to do the test, and you can see if something's going to stick before you show up to the job and do it for real. Up top here, this is also kind of miscellaneous right now, but not really. I've got some of my safety stuff. I got knee pads, a vest, hard hat, vest, glasses, and my lanyard and harness for scissor lift or boom lift. So I'm gonna put some extra gloves, safety glasses, and stuff in there. All right, moving on to this center stack on wheels. This is something that I will roll into the job site. I do a lot of banks, interior offices, and I've just found that having to grab individual bins is tough because you never bring everything you need, and then you have to go back out to the van, and that's super annoying. So I've developed this stack that goes into every job site no matter what, and if I need a couple extra things, I could add those on top, or I could add my vinyl bag on top, which does fit here, but it's just really tight. So in this stack, starting from the top, screws and anchors. I install a lot of frames, things like that on the wall, cleats, Z-clips, whatever it is, overhead signs. You gotta have screws and anchors. Do I need all 3 sizes? Maybe not, but hey, I'm prepared. I've got 3/16 toggles, 1/4 inch toggles, and then some of my customers send their own hardware for jobs, so I just carry some of their extra stuff here, because why not? Next up, I have all my different drill bits. I've got metal bits, accessories. I've got step bits. Got my standard bits that I use for drilling wood and drywall. This is like an extras case I kind of came up with. I've got my countersinks, some square bits, my right angle bit there. Got some tile bits, extra stuff that don't have a home. And then if you've never seen these, probably get yourself a pair, but these are for drilling acrylic and they do an amazing job. I'm pretty sure I got this off Amazon and that's helped me more than a few times. And then to end the whole drilling case, obviously you need a drill and an impact, so I got those in there. And then over here on the left, I've got extra like bits and accessories, tile bits, extensions, Allens, so I use these a lot, hex bits, whole bunch of extra bits, and then I have lanyards for my tools in case I'm working on a lift or at heights and I need to tie those off, so if I drop it, no one gets hurt. Moving right along to the next bin, these are all my hand tools. So I've got a mini hacksaw, pencils, I have another set of mini screwdrivers, got a bunch of stuff, silicone. A lot of times I'll go to maybe wallpaper jobs or something and the spigots will be you know, this square key. So I have that just in case I need water, mini screwdriver, just a bunch of knives, tools, some cutters, not kid stuff. Stud finder, small ratchet set. Yes, I know this looks childish, but Wilma. But it's helped me on plenty of jobs. It's there just in case I need it. I've got my clamps, little wonder bar in case something doesn't want to come off a wall. Plenty of silicone, some of the bigger hand tools, caulk gun, hammer, roller, drywall knife, mallet. And then in here I have my moisture meter and what's the other one? Moisture meter and humidity meter. And those I use on wallpaper jobs or vinyl jobs to make sure that the wall's in a good enough condition for me to adhere to. The bottom here, got my sander, sandpaper, multi-tool, whatever you call it, buzzsaw, extra blades, charger, a couple extra batteries, keep those babies on deck and charged. And then I have my vacuum down here as well. So if I'm drilling holes, I'm able to vacuum, keep the site nice and clean. One thing I need to do is always clamp this in, because if I don't, I've learned that this whole stack tips over and sometimes stuff ends up everywhere, and that's not good. Next up, if you watched the van build, you knew that I was making a spot for these 5-gallon buckets. And this is my wallpaper glue. And then this is an empty bucket that I use for clean water when I'm doing a wallpaper job and need to wipe the excess glue off. So I found some really short budgies, and that is just always in the van in case I need it. next up, these are more of accessories and things that stay in the van more often than not. Down here, I've got a bunch of extra stuff. Tape, blades, squeegees. This is trash. Knives. Pounce chalk bag. Blades, Rolly Pro. Love these little Gorilla Tape rolls for like patterns on brick. Extra squeegees. This is just like grab bag of random stuff. Command strips, some sprayer accessories, which actually, this won't fit there. This is a new sprayer thing that I just got recently. I've got some electrical stuff here, drivers, wire, multimeter, lockout tagout kit. I don't really do much electrical, but it's here in case I need it. These chargers are for my work lights, which are in the back. Next up, I have hole saws. I have a full extra set of drill bits, trash bags, Swiffers, lockbox. Some jobs require me to bring my own. Up top here, this one looks like it's brand new because it is. I recently got a router and a jigsaw. Got some jigsaw blades over here. I don't do that type of construction on job sites really, but there have been times where I could have used a router or a jigsaw and I wish I had it. I also keep an extra laser level just in case. Next up, I've got some Bondo and some 3M Primer 94 for die knock jobs. Got some glass scrapers, some shims. This one's kind of random. Got trash bags. These are just extra things that I haven't always had with me and I wish I have had. So now I have them. Up top here, I've got a first aid kit I made myself. Milwaukee makes one of these now, but I think I just took like a CVS bag and dispersed it among these bins because I wanted a thinner one. And then this is an electrical bin. Let me show you that. All right, this is that electrical bin. I'm not an electrician. I'm not an electrical sign company, but there are times where I install illuminated dimensional letters that are low voltage, and so I have all these things to do that. You can see wire nuts. I've got some, there's probably a word for these, but these go in the metal studs where you're running wires to protect them from the metal. Screwdrivers. I do have an MC cutter because I do that sometimes. My wire strippers, some different MC connectors and stuff like that. Screws for hanging stuff. Extra switches, which I don't really use. Zip ties. And I've got this for my 12-volt DeWalt batteries where I can power up a set of letters to make sure it works before the electrician hooks up the transformer, because that's not my job. Another bin that I have up top here, this is one of my customers that I do a lot of jobs for, and so I have a full extra bin dedicated to them because they've sent me all this hardware just in case they forget to pack some hardware. I have an extra set. They are awesome enough to send silicone with all of their signs, stainless screws, anchors, toggles, wire ceiling mounts, drywall screws. These buttons are special to their cleat system, extra studs for dimensional letters. Over here, this is another customer bin, and I do a lot of banks for them. And so I have plenty of extra hardware. They do these TV surrounds with standoffs. I've got plenty of those, all the caps, spacers, connection plates. They have their own screws and anchors, gloves, SEG frame, hardware, screws, pins for their letter sets, and they send silicone as well. All right, next up, I've got my heat tools. I've got, obviously, the heat gun, and these are the tools for textured surface wraps. I can never remember which one's which, but I'm sure there's a TSA 4 in here, a TSA 2. I forget what these other ones are called, but these are all the 3M tools. This is the TSA 3. And a glove, because they send one with their kit. So put all those in there. This stack up here also includes my hammer drill. I've got all my in-use SDS bits. And then I have brand new ones in here. I think I have like 3 of every size, just in case I'm on a job and start blowing out bits. Got plenty of extras. If you haven't noticed, I like to prepare for everything. So having, extra stuff. I got some batteries I got to charge, but always have enough, be more than prepared to do the job at hand. Finally, in this bin, I have some drywall stuff, roller covers, all my knives, paint rollers, some mud, which is like flying all over this bin, some patch kits that I don't really use, but I have them just in case. And then up here, I've got gloves, sanding blocks, little roller covers, seam repair tubes, chip brushes, wallpaper squeegees, wallpaper brush, some more brushes, paint can openers, little drill mixer, wallpaper glue. That's that. Back here, I've got my folding tables. These are what I bring to a bunch of job sites. If I'm doing wallpaper, I set 4 of those up usually. If I'm doing glass film, I'll lay them out on the table, use that as a peel board. Over in this little compartment here, I've got my laser level, which still has to find another home somewhere else. I've got a snow brush, some bungees, this is a swaging tool for crimps. I do a lot of parking garage, overhead signs, stuff like that. These are the lights for those charger cords I was talking about. They have to find another home too, but they're there for now. Back here, I've got some wet floor signs, and I've got a cover for my paint roller in case I'm keeping it wet and doing 2 jobs in the same day. Back here, I've got one of those little grabby reach tools and a headlamp for when I'm doing illuminated dimensional letters. And then I've been putting my big cart right here and that gets held to the back of the van with this bungee cord. That pretty much goes to every job with me now, so that I can carry different things. My vinyl bag, my ladder, my tables if I need them, whatever it may be. Up here at the front of the van, give you a little inside look. I've got some gloves in my door, got some hand sanitizer when you're fueling up gas and you want to get that nastiness off you. Up front here, I've got a bunch of different things, and I want this to be more organized, but it really just isn't yet. AirPods when I'm on the job and need to take phone calls so I can keep working. Got the Boom Boom stick, not a sponsor. Maybe one day. Keep those sinuses open. I clearly need this right now. Chapstick, got some snacks. I've got a laser distance measurer from Bosch. I've got my Ray-Ban Metas so I can do some content, which I've been slacking on. In the middle here, I've got some hand wipes, safety glasses, tape measure. I've got my garage door opener, Milwaukee knife, and an extra key for the van that usually stays in my pocket. I've got an iPad charger, a single glove that needs to go somewhere else. I've got a dash cam, I've got my Easy Pass, and another garage door opener. A very important thing is the shop dog. I got Wilma here. She doesn't come with me to every job, but she comes to the office every day, right? It's winter, so I have a winter jacket. And then I always carry a backpack with me. And the backpack has things like an extra set of clothes, and stuff where if I have to stay overnight somewhere, that I'm going to be good to go. So that always stays with me. I've got Wilma. I've got an extra pair of shoes, tissues. I usually have water with me. Let's see what else we have back here. Sorry, Wilma. Alright, I've got a Noco battery booster. I haven't had to use it yet, which is great, but it's there just in case. I've got a toe strap. Never know when you're gonna have to help someone or get helped by someone. So I've got that stuff. So one of the future plans that I have for this van is doing something up here with this shelf. Right now, I do have a MBS sign setter up here, and it kind of just stays there, which is great, but I want to build some type of like piano hinge flap here or something where I could store stuff up there and it's not going to come flying out. So that's something I'm working on next. The other thing I think I'm going to do is build another shelf here so I could get another one of these red bins up there. One thing I don't have on this van is my portable bandsaw, and I don't need that often as a sign and graphics installer, but it's something that I have over there on my shelf, and there have been times where I've needed it and I don't have it, and I don't like doing that anymore, which is why I bought this van and organized it like this so that I could have everything I need. And it's great. So I hope you guys enjoyed this van tour. If you have any questions, drop them down below. If you haven't already and you've watched this far, please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Okay, we can go home now. Ready? Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Let's go home. Let's go.